Welcome back to RGO Photo. I'm Chris. Today we're going to do yet another Canon EF lens test. Today we are going to give a second chance because I've done this video before on this lens. Not this lens, but this lens. So I sold the other one I had, and I decided, since I'm now calibrating the lens to the camera, and every time I do it, the lens does improve, whether that's good or not as far as the end result. Sometimes it's still up in the air, but the lens does improve. I want to jump in real quick and say that even though the results haven't been exactly what I've been looking for, the condition of the lenses that I've been buying for all these tests, I've been really impressed with. And I think one of the reasons why I get such good lenses is I scrutinize the photos, and if there's anything that looks off, I'm out. I don't even consider that lens. The other couple things is I really consider what they say and don't say in the description. So if they don't have a good description of, like, especially the glass, the optics, like saying no fungus, no fog, no dust, if they don't say stuff like that, I'm out of it as well. So if they give me a good description and tell me all about the lens, and I can see it, that the pictures back it up, that's the lens I'm going for. But if they don't tell me good descriptions of the lens, even if the lens looks good, I'm out as well. So I think that's the key to why I've been having such good luck with the condition of these lenses. So today we are going to give the Canon 24-85 USM another go. This goes from f3.5 to f4.5, so it's only 2/3 of a stop change as you go from 24 to 85 millimeters, just like the Nikon I did a while back. However, this is a much older lens. We're talking about 1996 here. So the question is, can this replace the OG? Because it's wider and longer and faster in the aperture. So we're going to put it up against the OG here, and the OG continues to beat up all these other pieces of glass. The 28-80 USM, the original from 1991. So I've got $66 in the OG, and I have almost twice that in this 24-85 at $125. So let me show you the calibration I did real quick, just to show you that this lens is better calibrated than it is just by slapping it onto the Canon 6D. So the 6D, you calibrate the wide end and the telephoto end. On the wide end, let's go down there at 24 millimeters and let me show you real quick. So on the left is uncalibrated. On the right, we're at -3. So if we go into the center, there's not too much difference, although the right is slightly sharper in the center. It's not by much. If you go up into this corner, where it is a good corner, you're probably not going to notice a whole lot. And if you go down, way down here, what you'll notice is both of them are very bad in the extreme corner, but the one on the right is slightly less bad. And this UPC is sharper on the right, so you can see that improvement there. You go down here again, both of them are bad in the extreme corner because that postal service is way down there. But if you go to the UPC, you can see that we are better on the right at -3. Again, the same story up here, although I do think this is sharper on the 24-85 maybe than the OG. When you go up into the extreme corner, again, I believe this to be sharper. So that's a good corner for the lens right there. So now let's go to the telephoto side, where I am at a +6. So I ended up at a +6 when I did this at f5.6 and also at +6 on the f8. Now on f8 in my notes here, I've got +4, the center is sharper, +8, the corners are sharper, so I'm at +6. So let's show you that here. We've got, again, on the left, uncalibrated. On the right, we're at +6, 85 millimeters. So you can see not a ton of difference in the center. But the corners, that's where it's a big difference. Much better on the right. You can see just better on the right. Just a little sharper down there on that extreme corner. Again, only slightly better. They're both not good there. But the further you get away from the extreme corner, you can see this is just a little better on the right. And again, go to the UPC, just sharper here. Go up here, and it is, though both of them are bad, it's less bad on the right, I guess you could say. The OG is also calibrated to the 6D, and so that is what we're going to compare this against. So let's go to 24 and 28 millimeters. Both of them shot wide open at their widest focal length. So we're going to start at 24 and 28, and both of them are at f3.5 at that point. Okay, so we've got the 24 to 85 on the left and the OG on the right. If we go into the center, you can see clearly the OG is just sharper, and I'll give you a little spoiler alert, it's that way pretty much everywhere. Not even close there. And I guess we should look at the vignette. So we've got pretty good vignette on both. You got barrel distortion on both, maybe slightly less on the 24 to 85, but you can see it pretty clearly right there. So now let's go down to f5. And we've cleaned up a little bit on the left, but we've also cleaned up on the right as well. So I mean, look, this is really nice and sharp here. Go to the corners. That's a good corner for the 24, but the OG is better. Go down to this corner. Again, look how good the OG is down there. So yeah, we'll go to 7.1 here. So basically we went a stop and a stop. 24 to 85, real sharp in the center, possibly sharper than the OG in the center right now. Looks really good. Let's go to that corner. Both corners are about the same, although I think the OG is slightly better. But now let's go not quite to the extreme corner. Look how that's really sharp there on the left. Do it again down there. Both of them are real good down there. Go to the extreme corner. Got so much better at f7.1 here. OG's probably better. Yeah, OG's better down there. This is definitely better on the left. And better on the left. So we'll go to 50 millimeters. We're at f4 on the 24 to 85 because that's where it goes, and we're at f4.5. That's where wide open is on the OG. Go into the center, and again, the OG is just better, wide open. You can just see, just better on the right, and for the sake of brevity, you can see so much better on the right. Sake of brevity, it's just that way. Do a real quick here at 5.6. You can see the right hand side again is still just sharper. We've gotten a lot better on the left, but I do think the OG is better. This is a good corner for both, and the OG is so much better. So much better on the right. So let's just jump straight to f8. Nice and sharp on the left. They're both looking really good. The left may be sharper. I think the left is sharper here in the middle at f8. 50 millimeters f8. So let's go to an edge, but not the corner. I think the OG has that, and the OG has that. So let's do the same thing down here. Both of them real good down there, but I think the OG edges it out. Yep. And this corner, they're both pretty good up there. I think the OG is probably slightly better there. Check out this UPC. I think the OG might be a touch sharper. It's kind of hard to say with that goofy glare. So now we're going to go to 80 millimeters on the OG and 85 on the 24 to 85. So we're at 5.6 here and we're at 4.5 here. Going into the center, and yeah, it's ugly. The OG is so much better on the right. You could say, well, that's because it's at 5.6, it's 2/3 of a stop faster, or not faster, but stop down, so it should be sharper, but that's a pretty large discrepancy between the two. All right, so both of these are now at 5.6, so the OG is still wide open, and the 24 to 85 is stopped down. So still not good in the middle there on that side. Just not good. So now let's go to f8. See if we can get anything going there. So it just looks like the OG is just better. Notice the pin cushion here. Both of them. The OG is just better. So I gotta say that's a little disappointing. Newer lens, currently more expensive on the used market, and it does not hold up to the OG. But if we're trying to be bottle half full and give some kind of positive feedback, stopped down to f8, and if you took out basically the APS-C portion of the lens, it's pretty good. So if you stay out of that outside third-ish quarter on each side, it's pretty good at f8. So, and I would also say that 85 was not so good. So somewhere between 24 and 70, it's pretty good at f8 in the APS-C zone. So that's a lot of qualifying factors. So a little disappointing, I gotta say. Testing these old EF lenses and not coming up with anything that beats the OG or the 28 to 135 for the price points is kind of crazy. You know, people say the EF line is great because you got all these lenses to choose from. Well, maybe the more modern L lenses to choose from, because all these other lenses I've been testing, most of them aren't worth crap, to be honest. They work as good as a lens cap or a body cap for your camera. Stick it on and it can take a photo, but who cares? So anyway, hope you liked this video. If you did, give us that thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down there, and as always, thanks for watching.